What disappoints me is to know that there are people in this room who you only in this room because of your relationship with one of the four of us. And to know that you even engaged in conversation with this guy. That you had frequent conversations with this guy. And chose to accept his word over the guys who bleeding for you.
What you see right here, nobody up here was good enough to think to put this together. Nobody. It was 1,000% organic.
And then he turned to the database. He figured, this is my nuclear bomb. If you guys don't give me $500,000, I'm locking y'all out of the database of our people. I want you to notice with his new company, he's recruiting from our database that he stole from us. You took what was ours and you tried to extort us. And we were willing to build it all over again.
Hey, everybody, we're in my hometown, STL, the Show Me State. We're about to show some people that Now We Know campaign will help saving our women and children's lives all over the country. I'm with my red-nosed pit business partner, Mr. Demond Crump from New Orleans, the dirty in the Louis Lou.
Last stop of the Midwest tour. Global director sale.
And there go my mama. Look, there go my mama. That's my mama, Miss Abella. And this is my new stepmom, Miss Beverly, with the Now We Know shirt on.
Now, hysterectomies are the #1 performed surgery in the United States of America, over 600,000 a year.
The thing that we're doing with our marketing and our branding is, I'm a high-end shopper. I don't buy much, but when I do buy, I buy quality, right? So I looked at the Tiffany style bags and I wanted us to have a really classy presentation.
Wow. It's probably a year now, but one more last funny thing, man. If you remember in my hotel room when the product, you guys had a guest that came by.
The pastor from our
pastor.
Yeah.
And they were doing the demonstration.
Yeah.
And they needed, hey, do one of y'all just have some of the product I can use? And it looks fancy. I'm looking out the window. Now I'm trying to hold on to mine. I'm like, no, man.
He was getting some chips and he was like a kid.
Like, man, I ain't letting none of this go, man.
Talking to me, bro.
So
yes,
then
sir.
you
Gave you a call.
You gave me a call.
said,
But before you called me, you had called me a couple of times.
Yeah.
You had called me a couple of times, and we were on tour. I was on a training tour. I was in LA, jammed up and doing training, and I saw your number come up. But you know how sometimes you're in the middle of something.
You about legal advice.
Okay, that's right. You told me.
That's right.
You had an incident, had need some legal advice.
Yeah.
Didn't know why you were calling.
Not a bad incident.
Not bad. I mean, yeah. Not bad incident. Right.
Clean that up, huh?
Clean that up. Right. But then on my way back, I landed and had a call from you.
That's correct.
Right? And so I called you and you said you had something. We were just catching up.
And I said, you gonna laugh?
Well, before you said that, you had told me, because it's interesting. Coleman just called me. You're like, well, I think he might need he has some stuff going on. Not the part, but has some legal stuff. Yeah. But then you said, now I got something you need to see. And now I'll tell you now, Iverson, when you see this, you're gonna laugh. Mm-hmm. Now, one thing I know about this guy is that he's serious about his money. Okay, I'm serious about my money. So I knew that this man had been out of the game for a second. I knew how incredible a building. So if Demond Crump said he had something for Spencer Iverson, and we already have a mutual relationship where I'm never trying to get him in it. He's really never trying to get me in it.
That's right.
If he is on it, it wasn't going to be funny to me. So I said, well, listen, I've got a meeting on a church matter. I got to come around that way anyway. Why don't we stop, at such and such hotel, and we'll sit down, and you can show me what you show. Hey, man, no problem. So I show up, and he's sitting down eating some Chick-fil-A and whatnot, and he pull out his little magic bag of tricks, and he pulls out this thing. I didn't know what it was because I don't usually live in that space, right? So I didn't know if it was a deck of cards. I didn't know if I know it was a big pack of chewing gum. I didn't know what it was. And so the more he pulled it out and whatnot, I kind of got the idea. But here's the thing: he did the magic show, and I was, as engineers, right? I was blown away by the technology.
Yeah.
I was blown away by the technology. Now, here's one thing about how my mind works. I instantly got the business application. I instantly got it. I mean, it was like a eureka moment. And honestly, I wasn't looking for anything, making pretty good income. I said, this thing right here. Oh, and your wife was it. Your wife came in and gave me a personal testimonial because I didn't know a lot about the technology.
That's correct.
Between that testimonial and what I saw with my own eyes, I said, man, this thing right here is going to be huge. Then I called you, legal. I said, man, I just talked with Crump on this magic show thing, man. Oh man, I told her, and then it just started all slowly kind of coming together, man. And so this thing right here,
yes, sir.
This thing right here is going to bless a lot of people, man.
On that note, let me say this, and I really don't have anything else to say this evening, gentlemen, but I believe with all sincerity, with every fiber of my being, that this will be the most mission-driven project that I've ever been a part of my life.
Yeah.
Because of the amount of people that it's going to help.
I agree. Because they're going to tell somebody, and if we can bless one life at a time, put the culture that we're going to put in, put the training, put the emphasis in the right place, we're going to build something that's going to be sustainable, and we can really begin to make a difference in this industry. Okay, so there are 4 of us as founders of Nspire. Joel Medina, Damon Coleman, and Damon Crump. I think what makes it unique, this whole thing unique, is that we were kind of divinely brought together. It wasn't scripted. It was very organic. Our paths crossed years ago at different times in our lives and different companies, and who knew, we would be here. When you look at us, the 4 of us collectively, we're kind of like the Avengers or the Justice League. We each have a super gift or this superpower that we use, in this space, and we respect each other's lane. When you think of a Joel Medina, Joel is really cerebral. He's a really smart person. He's very thoughtful, very creative, very methodical, an engineer by training. And so, the brilliance of a Joel Medina, it makes it easy to understand why he's had as much success in and out of the industry of network marketing. He researches, he's very thorough. And so, having him as the chief operating officer in that capacity and over operations and product development, really manufacturing and engineering, which was his background, it's such a blessing. Companies really seek out his advice and his wisdom and his expertise. But to have him as one of the founders and owners, I'm just amazed a lot of times at the brilliance of a Joel Medina. And then you look at a Damon Coleman, for example, who I met 7 or 8 years ago, had heard of him before, but then he has a remarkable gift. I call it a relational gift. He maintains relationships like no other person. He can pick up the phone and call somebody he hadn't seen in 20 years, and they treat him like they had lunch yesterday. Not everyone has that gift, and so in the industry of network marketing or direct sales, it's a gift that he's been able to monetize because it's a relationship business. And so to have him as the global director of sales, the person who is behind the very the momentum and the numbers that we're experiencing globally, is nothing short of his word phenomenal. And then you talk about a Damon Crump, who I met over 11 years ago, has a beautiful family. Again, one of the most brilliant men in the industry of network marketing you'll ever meet.
He is one of the best trainers, like Mr. Coleman, in the industry, bar none. He's been a CEO. He has been a master distributor. Every company that he has been involved in, every single company he's been involved in, he's broken and set records. And so if there's another company out there who doesn't have a Damon Coleman and Damon Crump, you've already lost. I mean, in a figure of speech, it's just hard to beat guys who are that good at what they do. And so when you look at me, I'm like the fat kid on the playground, when they're picking teams for sports, and he's the last one picked. I was the last guy picked. These three guys, they already had the vision, they already had the product, and they could have called anybody. There were several other big names that they could have called, and so I will always be honored and humbled that Mr. Coleman and Mr. Crump picked up the phone and thought of me, because I was that kid. Is anybody else? Oh, let me see. Oh, yeah, we'll take Spence. So anyway, here I am. But we have some amazing partners. We form an amazing ownership group with different gifts, skills, and abilities that we all respect to do something great.
Now we know, everybody.
Now we know!